let's get OBS set up. So in our left window, we have RuneScape. Right window, we have OBS. Down here under scenes, you're going to right click, add, and just add a new scene. This is one we're going to be working with. Now under sources, add a new source, go down to window capture. Let's just name this RuneScape. And here we go. We have our OS Buddy window. Now something you're going to notice is if we hold down Shift and fill the entire box, it's going to just look bad. It's going to look stretched. So what I really recommend doing is making your RuneScape box a bit bigger. Now, lots of people don't like this because it increases how far you have to move your mouse to click. But if you want a recording that just overall looks a lot better, that's what you're going to have to do. So now that we have it a bit bigger, you can see that it looks better. It doesn't look perfect. I would still, mess around with the resolution a little bit, maybe make it a little longer. Let's see how this looks. Okay, and that actually looks really good. So now that we've done that, let's hold down Alt and crop it. We're just going to crop the sides a little bit. I recommend just cropping the top, but if you want to make it perfect, you can cut out those tiny black bars that surround the RuneScape box. And there we go. We have a 100% perfect RuneScape tab or window. Okay, now once we have that set up, under your sources, right click and hit add, and add your audio input capture. Then go and find your audio outputs. Mine is the voice meter output. And there we go. Now it's recording my sound through the audio input capture, and it's recording my desktop audio. We're just going to remove that, and let's go to settings and get everything set up. Now I'm just doing the settings for recording videos. So under output, make sure your output mode is advanced and go to recording. Now there's only a few things we're going to look at here. The first being recording format. So MP4 is a great format for editing, for uploading to YouTube, but MP4 is horrible for recording because if anything happens, if your OBS crashes, if your computer crashes, if you puke on your keyboard and your computer explodes, you're going to lose the recording. But in FLV, no matter what happens, it'll stop the recording right when the program crashes and you'll have a perfect video file. Not with MP4, it'll be corrupt and you can't use it. So I highly recommend recording in FLV and then transferring it, or not transferring it, but converting it to MP4. That's super easy, and I'll post a link in the thread on how to, or in the description, I should say, on how to do that. Okay, so we're going to record in FLV. Now under encoder, right, really simple. This is CPU encoding. It uses more of your CPU, but it makes the video look a lot better. Right, so this is for the mid to high-end PC. This is for the low to mid-end PC. This is GPU encoding. It's less intensive on your system, but it doesn't look quite as sharp. It's still pretty good. I did it for quite a while. The videos still looked great. Okay, now down here, my bit rate is 50K. I don't know why, but I think it looks pretty good. Just make sure you set your bit rate to something reasonably high. Play around with it. Find something reasonably high that actually works for you and doesn't make your system lag. Rate control, CBR, CPU preset. I sit with very fast just because it's a good balance between quality and performance. The lower you go, the harder it'll be on your system, but of course, the better video quality you're gonna get. So very fast is good for me. All right, now under video, let's make sure your resolutions are set to 1920 by 1080. Make sure your downscale filter is set to Lanczos, and make sure your common FPS value is set at 60. Now, once again, if you have a low to, around a low spec system, you might want to drop this to 30 FPS, but I have a pretty good system, so I'm rocking 60. Now under advanced, you're going to want to set your process priority to high, just so you can allocate all the resources needed for OBS. And leave YUV color space and YUV color range on 601 and partial. Now, I know you want a full color range, but it doesn't look well if your programs or whatever isn't tuned to work with those settings. If I turn it on, everything, like my grays have like a purplish tint, and it just doesn't look super good in my opinion unless you know what you're doing and you know how to calibrate everything. So just leave it on that, and you are all set up and ready to go. Just hit start recording down there and make sure you know your recording path. And yeah, that's literally all you need to do. Open up Sony Vegas or Windows Movie Maker or put it straight onto YouTube.